Hey, what's up? So we have the launch score, which is letting us know how many sales a keyword needs on a weekly basis to get to page one for that keyword. Now, this is an updated version, right? One of the most up-to-date version. Our CEO, of course, Brandon, he worked with the previous founders of the other software tool to create that. And now this is a more updated score, which should be a lot more accurate because it hasn't been updated in a long time. So sellers are going to stop being able to use this. This will hopefully be out in the coming weeks. I'm not sure when, but that's just a little sneak peek of what's to come. Now, as for AI, Cosmo and Rufus, right? So let's go over to the listing builder where the magic happens here. Now, Amazon search is shifting hard into AI. Two systems matter, right? First is Cosmo. Cosmo is behind the scenes. It's a relevant system, and it decides if a product is eligible to show for a shopper's intent. Um, Not just a keyword match, it looks for meaning, context, and whether your listing covers the full set of related user cases and variants. If your keyword roots and context are incomplete, you rank narrow even if your ads convert, right? And now where this comes into play here is when we're talking about roots, we want to go on to root usage and hits. Because if we're not hitting the root protein bars, and there's many other keywords that contain protein bars in here, right? Amazon's AI won't not only show us for protein bar, but protein bars and anything else that says or related to protein bars, right? Bars, protein. So you want to make sure that we have roots that are hitting it. This one here, bars, protein bars. Of course, different search volumes, all that sort of stuff. But roots are going to matter because root is going to be the meaning, right? So low sugar, right? If people are looking for healthy bars, right? Low sugar is going to be a search intent and emotional intent. Please give me a bar that is low in sugar. What does that mean? What's the meaning behind that? It's healthy. So just by having low sugar in there can get as recommended that your product recommended by Amazon's AI for bars healthy keywords, right? Which has search volumes too. Now, you've also got Rufus. Rufus is the customer-facing shopping assistant inside Amazon. Shoppers ask questions, compare options, and Rufus answers using listing content, structured data, reviews, and Q&A. So if your listing is vague or inconsistent, Rufus has nothing clean to recommend. Now, this is some stats that can be mentioned in terms of Amazon. Right? Amazon says over 250 million customers have used Rufus this year. Monthly average users are up 149% and interactions are up 210% over the past year, and customers who use Rufus are over 60% more likely to purchase during that shopping trip. So the pitch is sellers need listings built for AI interpretation, not old school keyword stuffing. Now, this is what Data Dive does, right? Data Dive shows keyword root coverage, which we're seeing here, what roots are covered based on the keywords that we've added into our master keyword list. All the keywords that we've added into our MKL are listed here. The root usage and hits are here. Like, how many of these are we actually telling Amazon's AI that this product is relevant for, right? Protein bar, protein bars. We have it in the description, not the bullet in the title. So we could become more relevant for that route, like Amazon's AI, if we ended up putting it in our bullets, which has a lot of broad search volume. So with Data Dive's AI copywriter over here, it turns our data, the keywords, into clear, explainable listing copy so that Rufus can summarize who it is for, what problem it solves, and when it should be recommended. Clarity and relevance improve together, and that's very important when it comes to Rufus recommending your product or seller's products. So if your audience sells on Amazon, this is a perfect angle for content. Amazon is literally telling the market that AI shopping is driving purchases. Data Dive is the tool that helps sellers align their listings with how Amazon now understands products. Okay, so we have two different focuses here, Cosmo and Rufus. Cosmo and Rufus, or specifically for Cosmo. I would recommend probably doing Cosmo and Rufus. If you have variations, you can do one of the variations Cosmo, another variation Cosmo and Rufus. And then for those that want to make sure they're covering all bases, they can use the data dive classic AI copywriter, which is more of a keyword stuffing method. But let's go for Cosmo and Rufus. Let's hit continue. And let's just watch it build this listing. It's going to create a nice title. And then theoretically, you don't even need to use the old classic copywriter anymore for the keyword stuffing, because you use Cosmo and Rufus, or you optimize it for Cosmo, which again is the emotional, the intent, making sure you got the root coverage. And then you just go in, and any exact matches that you don't have, you go through and see how you can optimize the listing with exact matches, right? Because they're still going to have some sort of role to play. It still adds to the relevancy and rankings for keywords. But now, of course, Cosmo and Rufus is getting a lot of priority. So this is what the current copy is, and this is what it's going to replace it with. Bars chocolate sea salt. You can see chocolate sea salt 16 pack. It's reorganized it, so it's a lot more easier for the Amazon's AI to understand. When we hit continue, it's just going to populate our listing. It's updating now with the blue bar. Everything in our listing has changed from the title and the bullets, and this is ready to take over to Amazon and update the listing. Now, if we go into Battle of the Listings, this is where we can see our exact matches that are currently in our listing. So what keywords are we specifically telling Amazon that we are relevant for? Well, protein bars still isn't in here, right? Protein bars, high protein. So this is something that you might want to get in there somewhere. So we have here, and now I see why. It's a misspelling. A lot of people are actually misspelling protein bars. So this is something that the AI probably won't put in there just because it is spelled wrong. But if you want to go ahead and make sure you got an exact match, go ahead and exact match that. You can see protein bars is in here, number one, high search volume, but then you got protein bars because it looks like 5% of people writing it in on Amazon don't know how to spell it. So that's going to be a good one. We could probably include somewhere in our description here just to make sure we have an exact match. Again, not changing too much of it because we do want the listing to stay optimized for the emotional meaning, to tell Amazon's emotional AI that help it understand. But let's say, for example, you find a place to put it in the description there. You can see that this changes from now and now has updated as soon as the data uploads to exact match in the description. So we are telling Amazon, hey, people that type protein bars, this listing relates to that because it has protein spelled that way in it. And yeah. So that's probably the most effective place to put it. And then, of course, run ads towards it. And again, once you optimize, you just want to go ahead, go onto the root usage and hits, and just keep in mind that you're going to use data dive to make sure that nothing's overly keyword stuffed. So data dive's AI listing builder builds a very optimized listing. And then what you need to ask yourself is are we damaging our chance at ranking for a high search volume keyword like protein bars? And we can see we have it mentioned once in exact match in the title and once in the description. So that's a mention of 2 times, right? Remember, if we're keyword stuffing, it's been announced that Amazon is now penalizing listings that have roots or phrases mentioned too many times, and that too many times has been announced as more than 3. So ideally, to not get penalized for ranking for a keyword, we want to keep it 3 or under throughout the entire listing. So we're talking one time in the bullets, one time in the bullets, title, one time in the title, one time in the bullets, one time in the description. And that should be Gucci. That should be good. All right, but that's about it. That if you can do some content on that, that's gonna rock it, especially for content right now because everyone's looking for more info. And yeah, data dive is a game changer. No need to spend hundreds of dollars on a service to do it for you when you can do it in a couple of clicks with data dive's listing builder. And the majority of services out there that do this for people, those that have data dive are using data dive and they're doing it in minutes when you can just do it yourself, or your sellers and your audience could do it themselves with data dive through your tracking link. Yep. And that's it. Hope you are well and talk to you, mate. Any other questions, just reach out, okay?